I'm going to talk about Israel. I think that Israel should be in Germany. I believe that after Germany had the audacity to kill, slaughter 6 million innocent Jews, that they deserve, Germans deserve to be punished for that. And one very appropriate punishment is that they give up their land. And this new land that they had to give up is given to the Jews, and that's the new Israel. That's my opinion. I just think it's fair. And I strongly believe this. I don't understand why Palestine had to give up part of their country to the Jews who had nothing to do with the Holocaust. The Holocaust was a terrible, horrible thing, but the Palestinians had nothing to do with it. So, where's the logic? Now, some common arguments are that the Jews inhabited this area previously. Well, my retort is, well, there was a time when the Native Americans used to inhabit America, but they don't anymore. The Europeans came and took it over. It wasn't right, but nobody's doing anything to change that. So, using that as an argument, I find that to be hypocritical. You can't use that as an argument, because America did the same. It did the same exact thing. It took over the land which belonged to somebody else. Now, what is fair in this situation? It doesn't matter who was in the land first. What is fair? Now, given we have to only go by recent history, that's the best that we can ever go by. And the recent history is that Germans slaughtered 6 million Jews, and they need to be punished for this. And the most appropriate punishment is for them to give up their land. And I find it incredibly disgusting that these Germans can laugh in their ignorance at the horrible atrocities that are being committed to this day in the Middle East on both sides. They are laughing in their ignorance because they got away with it scot-free. They slaughtered 6 million Jews, and they were able to get away with it essentially because they didn't have to give up their land. Somebody else had to give it up, even though they had nothing to do with it. And they have the audacity, some of them have the audacity to create neo-Nazi hate groups which continue to hate Jews to this day, even though they didn't have to give up their land. How is that fair? That's not fair. That's criminal in my opinion. Well, I've been voicing this opinion online, and I've encountered some opposition. Maybe understandably so. Israel exists, and people. I mean, here's the basic logic: Israel exists, and they don't want to give up their land now that they live there, even though it's unfair. You have to acknowledge that fact first. It is unfair. At least acknowledge that you are being selfish in wanting Israel to exist where it currently is. This is a land that's surrounded by enemies, by hostile countries. It's a very unstable area. Why do you want to stay there? It's in the desert. The resources in the land are not that good. It has oil, but the land is not very arid. Or I should say it's not very fertile. It is arid. It's a wasteland. It's a desert. But Germany, as far as I can tell, is much better land. And you can get more land if you just move there. I don't think it's fair for people to be suffering and dying over the crimes that Germany created. They created the problem. They're the problem. And the solution is take land from the people who created the problem. So I encountered some opposition, and one of the most notable complaints came from this idiot named Jan Sobieski, Jansobieski. And he wrote, this is his initial private message to me. Hey, I appreciate your background. I am a graduate student in chemistry, and I think research is the most important thing, and I respect your work in microbiology. Then he goes on to talk about, history and politics. He is religious. He admits that. First of all, I am religious and believe in God, but that doesn't make me any different from you. But here's the thing. His religion is clouding his judgment. A lot of Jews want to stay in Israel for religious purposes. But here are the facts. God doesn't exist, and religious fairy tales mean jack shit. Okay? Your religion is getting in the way of logic and reason, and here's the logic. Germany killed 6 million Jews. Germany deserves to give up its land. That's the logic and reason right there. The religious purposes, the land of the Jews, that stuff doesn't matter. Land is dirt. Dirt doesn't matter. Living in a place where you can call home matters. So he started off being somewhat polite, I guess. Complimented my education. He admits that he is pro-Israel. He says not just because he's religious, it is the right thing to do. No, it is because you're religious. And I retorted, of course. I said to him all the things that I said before about fairness. What is fair? And then he said, gave me a long response, which is factual, but it became increasingly more hostile. Basically, he just wants to support Israel. And then the third PM became very, very hostile. He was attacking me personally, attacking my credentials, my credibility. He called me a crazy lunatic, and then accused me of being anti-Semitic. Here's the facts. Just because you're against a country, or against the establishment of a country, does not mean you are against the people that live there. They are two completely irrelevant things. For example, you could say that the Europeans taking over North America was wrong. And you could say that that establishment is wrong. But that doesn't mean you are anti-white. It does not mean you're anti-European. It simply means you are against that particular action, which resulted in the genocide of millions of people. And it did. But that doesn't make you racist. And throwing around accusations of racism is very disgusting in my opinion. But the last comment he said, after I retorted his rather insulting PM, was, wah, 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 towel head proved empirically wrong. Go fuck yourself, you liar. Get the fuck out of my country. First of all, you don't own any country. Okay, so you can't tell anyone to get out of anywhere. And calling somebody a towelhead, that's funny. I'm a hoodhead more than anything else, I think. I'm an Enigma hoodhead. You can call me that. I don't usually wear towels on my head. I use towels to dry myself off with. You see, he was trying to make a racial comment. And this guy is now exactly the same as Hitler. He has become just as bad as Nazis. You, Jan Sobo, whatever the fuck your stupid name is, are now a racist, and you deserve to go to prison, because that's what any racist deserves. There was a guy in Austria, I forgot his name, who denied that the Holocaust occurred. A horrible thing to say. The Holocaust did happen. And they threw his ass in prison, where he belongs. Because you can't say racist shit like that and get away with it. And you know what? If you call someone a towelhead, you deserve exactly the same kind of punishment. You are a racist, and you deserve to go to prison, where you belong. You are now no better than a Nazi. And just briefly, some arguments that other people have made. What do we have here?